Nero, let's put a trigger warning on trigger warnings.
All right, let's try this again, Anthony. It seems like we might have a better connection now. The Gremlins might be away, but Anthony DiRenzo, Dan Borowski back with another Other Side, and we got a lot to talk about. I apologize if you're just joining us again. Minnie, thank you for rejoining. I appreciate it. And you can drop a comment. Drop us a comment. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing, man? Thanks for hopping in there. Anthony, what's on your mind today? What do we want to talk about?
Oh, man, so much is going on. I know you said you wanted to get to cancel culture right away, so let's just get right to it. Pirates of the Caribbean, they might be going for a different pirate than Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And what I know this is something that seems like a lot of people have a strong opinion on. It's all over Twitter. But I'll let you take the floor here because I know you have a strong opinion. So go ahead.
Yeah, so Elon Musk actually weighed in on this. Io Berry, who plays a really big part in The Bear, great show that we're almost obsessed with on the Other Side.
Yeah.
She's been now talked about to lead the Pirates in the Caribbean reboot. It's going to be a female-led cast, and Disney continues their woke status. And there's been pushback. There's been pushback against Io in the role. So here's Alejandra Carabello. She says it's clear he just hates black people, being Elon Musk, because he says Disney sucks. I don't know, man. Is it racist for Elon to be out here saying Disney sucks as a direct response to a black woman being cast in the role of Pirates of the Caribbean? I mean, I have my thoughts on this, but Anthony, what do you think?
I don't think it's necessarily racist, but also to try to purposely say, oh, we're taking away the beloved Jack Sparrow and putting her in there. I think there's an easier way to create a new character and kind of create their own path in that kind of. I mean, people have been begging for new Pirates of the Caribbean movies in general, so they'd be excited. I don't think having a woman or an African-American woman necessarily would be the reasoning around it. But that's how Elon's going to be framed. That's how he constantly is framed. He's this right-wing psycho nut job now, according to most headlines.
Yeah.
I mean, could he be? I'm sure he could be maybe a little bit, I don't know, segregating of groups there. But I just think it comes down to more his distaste for Disney. I think that's why he's really putting a light on this. I don't think it's just. Oh,
well, it's just it's a common trend, and we'll get right on to Bud Light. I mean, well, before we go there with Elon and this whole situation, I just wish they would leave. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, just wrap it up. If you don't want to have Johnny Depp anymore, just wrap up the story. Create a new franchise that has female pirates in the lead. I just don't know why we got to keep doing the whole recasting, redoing. But getting over to more. Sorry, this whole thing screwed me up with. I have a comment here. Jimmy says leftist commentators very upset with their own people on the SCOTUS. SCOTUS, a lot going on there. But cancel culture, moving over to the Shane Gillis situation, man. Gillis now being canceled by TMZ, this clip being played regularly. And this is ahead of the SNL, him appearing as the host.
The bus didn't show up for 2 hours. We were all sitting on the bus, hot bus for 2 hours.
Was he a white guy?
Driver. Nah, he was.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Ethnic.
Woo! Compound Media, dude. We in the house, baby. White people, white people, white people, white people. Why the is CNN on in here?
It's always
you guys gay now? Put on Fox, dude. This is right-wing white. Get this
Our
CNN
listeners.
Get off here.
What'd you say?
Our listeners.
I need some alt-right Fox News, dude. Yo, Rafe, I with that, dude. Heavy with that. And they're like, this next song was because it's a real sad song, and we wrote it because 2016 was such a hard year for us because of the election. And I was like, these guys are so gay. And I turned around to this chick that I'm seeing, and I was like, yo, I love Donald Trump.
All right, so now TMZ is coming after him, left's coming after him, trying to get him canceled off of SNL for a lot of these comments. Some racial tinge to them, but I got to be quite honest, they're kind of reminiscent of what I'd expect out of comedy in 2006, 2007. and prior. Chappelle
I mean,
Show, South Park. It's comedy. And you're a big Shane Gillis guy. So what's your reaction to this? I really thought cancel culture was the thing of the past, and that's why I bring up Bud Light in a second, because I think it's time to move on past Bud Light. But Shane Gillis related to Bud Light. Tie it all together, Anthony.
Yeah, so this was something that actually did kind of cancel. Like, that clip is something that Shane has said he's a little ashamed of. Like, he feels like he played too much into stereotypes earlier in his career. And now, I mean, he obviously still plays into those things, but I feel like he's a lot more nuanced. And anyone that watches comedy will tell you there's a reason he's one of the most popular names right now, because he is really good, and he's good at looking at all sides of things and keeping it light and keeping it, like you said, it's more of like that Chappelle-esque humor. But even that clip, like he isn't proud of it, I guess, because some people interpret it in the way that I guess SNL and other entities did when he was originally quote unquote canceled. But I mean, really, cancel culture is a great thing for him, because it really led him to have this amazing career. And he has, I mean, he's transcended. He's one of the top guys in comedy now. And without SNL kind of telling him to piss off, who knows where he would have been. So, I mean, obviously he still would have had a job and all that, but now it comes full circle, because this weekend, and the reason that's coming out, and it's just interesting that TMZ is again posting those clips that came out when he was even hired originally. But regardless, Shane will finally host Saturday Night Live this weekend with 21 Savage in New York. So we'll see. That I think that monologue's going to be an all-timer. I know back in the day, if you're SNL aficionados, Norm Macdonald had a stellar monologue after pretty much being shunned from the cast. So we'll see. I think Shane's gonna have one for the ages here. It'd be funny if he just didn't show up, but I know he will.
So Dan Levitard down in Miami was saying that essentially Shane Gillis is famous because he is controversial. He's he's been canceled, and he's famous for getting fired essentially from SNL. Why is Shane Gillis like what makes his humor as good as I think you would say Shane Gillis is the number one comedian out there right now, correct?
Yeah, he's in like my top 3. I would probably say 1. I've seen him countless times. He's amazing. I mean, his Trump impression's great. His analysis of, he always talks about how his dad's like Fox News dad and how he went nuts during COVID, and it's very relatable for us just being around conservative talk radio, and yeah. I don't think, I mean, the guy's from Mechanicsburg, man. Like, do you want him to lie about his experiences? He lived in New York. He lived in Philly. He's talked about homeless people and called them bums and things like that. But he's a comedian. Like, you got to be, the whole point of this is to look at society in a lighter way. Like, that's the whole point of comedy. Is he always going to be the quote unquote clean comic, or the guy you look to bring to your kids? I don't know. Do you want to show them his stand-up? Absolutely not. But I think the reason he's funny is because he's very genuine. His stories are hilarious. He makes fun of people who have disabilities at times, but he has family members who have disabilities. So he has firsthand experiences with these things, and he comes from a place of love, like you can tell.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think we really get sensitive with comedy, which we've talked about countless times in this show and different comedians. But for some reason, I mean, dude, think about the things that Tim Dillon says. We talk about Tim Dillon a lot. He's another one of my favorites. Like, he doesn't get called out as much, I feel like, because people almost expect it from him.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest things that got him famous was a podcast with Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. So I think he's instantly, some people are like, oh, this guy's a nut job, a psycho. But Shane Gillis, it's a little different because he just had, kind of a normal upbringing. But the fact that he talks bluntly about the reality of life in central Pennsylvania or conservatives is, yeah.
And there's been a lot of commentary. We had Bill O'Reilly on with Dom today, and he rejected the notion that we're moving past cancel culture. That SNL, signing him on is a sign that the media, the network executives have decided to embrace more controversial opinions again. Do you think there's commentary on that? Do you think there's truth to that? Are we moving past cancel culture? Are those in the boardrooms finally deciding, hey, there's no money to be made here, and appealing to the woke, crowd?
Slowly. I don't think they are gonna. They're not gonna fall on the knife and make Shane Gillis the star of SNL. I don't think Shane wants that either. But it's something that needs to change. I think they realize if Saturday Night Live doesn't become what it used to be, then it will cease to exist, or at least not be the way we all expected it to be originally, or we all know it to be growing up. So they have to do something. I think cancel culture as a whole, it's not going to go away. I think there's a lot of people that are just bored and they're going to sit on their computers for as long as they possibly can to try to put anything bad out there about someone they hate.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be existent to a certain level. But I just think this stuff, and Shane Gillis being sponsored now by Bud Light, which he's always been a huge Bud Light guy. And even you want to talk politics,
dude, I'm so over the freaking Bud Light thing. It's a year now, and what I was trying, a point I was trying to make with Dom is, I like I just said now, I don't think people are in boardrooms anymore saying, hey, there's money to be made in appealing to the woke crowd. I think conservatives have made the point that if you're a business that's traditionally conservative or even traditionally moderate, if you go down this, highly woke path, you're going to lose money. People are going to, boycott you.
I mean, the whole thing's dumb. The whole thing's dumb. They did a whole series of cans with influencers. Dylan Mulvaney was one of them. It turned into this giant thing because of the culture wars. I'm not saying it was the smart thing. Honestly, it's crazy that they did that before partnering with Shane Gillis, because Shane Gillis loves Bud Light. The guy drinks it even throughout all this. He didn't trash them. He still drank it and loves it and would talk about it. So the fact that they're doing all this other stuff and now they're getting back to the roots. They got Peyton Manning in their new ads. They're doing Shane Gillis stuff, Post Malone, who's also a huge Bud Light promoter. So I think they're doing the right things now. And like you said, it's so stupid. It really is. And I ordered Bud Light this last weekend and I didn't think about my politics. I just ordered it because it was the beer that
surprise.
It sounded like what a normal lager was that they had on tap. So I ordered it.
Why would you ever order a Bud Light though?
I don't prefer it.
I'm against the principle of boycotting them, but at the same time, I've never drank in Bud Light purposefully in the first place. So
I mean, it was that or Stella on tap, and Stella I'll save the couple dollars. I don't think it's worth just because it has a fancy name. I don't know.
Jimmy wants us to talk about SCOTUS, and I'm down to talk a little bit of SCOTUS. Yeah. I think the decision was completely correct. I think it was absolutely ridiculous that they would try to keep Trump off the ballot in the first place. I don't know if there's much more to discuss in depth besides dunking on idiot liberals or progressives that thought there would be any, movement to this. I think you probably agree with me there on that, right?
I mean, I've been paying attention to it because we have to, but
yeah,
I've known in the back of my head that, this guy's going to be on the ballot.
Yeah, there's not
like I haven't been like, oh my God, what is going to happen? The anticipation. No, but he's going to be on the ballot. The side of the law is on his side. I'm not saying Trump is the most lawful politician of all time, but it's so dumb. It really is.
How much do you make of? Sorry, go ahead. You can finish.
I just think this focus on every little thing he does and trying to keep him off the ballot every which way, it just shows how desperate they are, man. It really does.
Why are they so? I guess they see Trump as a big threat. I guess they know they're going to lose.
They're that bad. Right? I thought he was done forever. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I mean, it's going to be close, but it's to the point where I think people who would never have considered voting for Trump, I think they're considering it because of how insane things have gotten.
I just said, do you think, as we talk about on 1210 often, that Biden's just essentially weakened at Bernie's at this point? He's a puppet that's being...
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you could say I'm conspiracy theorist. I kind of think that no matter what. Trump's kind of a loose cannon. He can't really be controlled.
I think Trump's much more individualistic in his own mind than Biden.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think Biden's just a stooge that's put in there like a ventriloquist dummy.
Dude, he doesn't know. It's sad. It legitimately is sad. He doesn't know what's going on. Like the guy should be. Look at that face, dude. It's
what I got here. Hold on. What I got? Let's see. I saw this pop up on the feed.
Making Roe v. Wade the law of the land.
Oh my God! No, he did not.
And making Roe v. Wade the law of the land.
Roe v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
Dude, you were around when he was probably in office when that thing got passed through.
Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, you should know what it's called. But dude, and that just drives me nuts. The abortion tour 2024. We have nothing to give you, so let's just talk about how the Republican SCOTUS talked about abortion and made it a state's right. So, oh man, it sucks. It just really sucks. And I would love to try to get my friends excited about an election as someone who's into politics. But you can't. You can't. Anyone who's not into politics right now.
Look, they're excited about is RFK. My friends, at least.
Well, same here, but it's like, it seems like nobody wants to take him seriously, which it's just, again, everyone, waste of a vote. Third party, waste, just a waste. Like half of you guys in the chat to me every time I talk about him.
I'm scared for Mangle to finish the sentence. Hey there, y'all are blank.
We're wrong about Trump. We probably are.
But we begin with that bombshell report for President Biden, whose findings could have major political ramifications for his reelection campaign. This afternoon, Robert Hur, the special counsel investigating President Biden's handling of classified documents, released his final report and recommended no criminal charges against the president. But in it, he says President Biden, quote, willfully retained classified documents after his vice presidency, adding that the president's practices, quote, present serious risks to national security. The report also includes a scathing analysis of Mr. Biden's mental capacity, saying that one of the reasons they declined to bring charges was because, quote, at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview of him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory. Now, the report goes even further, saying that in his interview with the special counsel, the president struggled to remember key details, including when he was vice president, when his son Beau died. They also note in a separate recorded conversations, his communication was painfully slow, that he struggled to remember events, straining at times to read and relay his own notebook entries. Now, the White
That's a report from NBC News.
He wouldn't pass a test to keep his own license, let alone be the leader of the free world.
Yeah. Well, you said you feel bad for him, and Jimmy says don't feel too sorry for Biden. He's been aware enough to know he's rolling country and doesn't care.
I mean, in a sense of, like, it's your last years of your life. Like, it shouldn't be dealt with like this. But the race for power, and I get it. He has all his money, all his status. Like, this is what he wants. I'm not saying I don't feel bad for any of these legacy politicians, but this guy should be it's the same thing as Fetterman. They should be at their homes alone with their families. Like, they aren't okay. You know what I mean? Like,
they really
Fetterman finally is like,
he seems better.
I like
more
Fetterman.
coherent.
I like him now. I mean, if he's gonna,
it seems like he's become conservative after his sickness.
Yeah.
It's like a result, a symptom.
Yeah,
he's smart now.
He knows he has to play to moderates.
Maybe his brain is finally making connections that conservatives make that liberals don't. That's. Yeah,
I mean, he's been pretty much saying I'm not a progressive at all, like over and over and over again.
I just got to play this again.
And making Roe v. Wade the law of the land.
Oh man, that's bad. Almost as bad as the beer one from the Milwaukee trip last week.
Yeah. How many times are they going to keep trotting them out there? That's the question.
Yeah. What are we talking about in the chat? Anything good? Not just saying hi to each other. Hey, if you are new here, contribute. Chime in on the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And please like and subscribe, where we just hang out. Otherside, I'm Dan Borowski, Dom Giordano's producer. This is Anthony DiRenzo, Dawn's producer, Kale and Company's company from Kale and Company. And we just talk about what we want to talk about. One thing that's on the list for tonight is a situation unfolding in the NBA with a racial slur being thrown again at Russell Westbrook, who seems like, I feel like this is the fourth or fifth time this has happened to Russell Westbrook, right?
It's like he's targeted, kind of. I don't know what it is. Maybe just because he's out talking a lot. I don't know.
Sound. Here we go. So here we have a Miami Heat game. It's a Heat fan. And he's jawing back and forth with Russell and calls him boy. Take a listen. I feel like when you throw a boy out there that aggressively, it's definitely
like 4
racially
times.
tinged. Yeah.
Like, throwing his hands up. I did nothing. I said nothing.
And like, there are other black people there besides Russell Westbrook. Like, it's clearly, I don't know. Do you think there's gonna be a lot made out of this? I think there need to be repercussions thrown at Westbrook, though. I don't know why he keeps involving himself with fans.
This is something. The NBA is an intimate sport. There is no other sport where you are that up close and personal. Like you could literally touch them when they're inbounding the ball. There's no other sport like that. And because of that, people almost treat it like a circus to the point of like, where they were throwing popcorn at players. Kyrie got that water bottle thrown at him. I think I don't know what it is.
Like, do you do like what they have in hockey and you build a wall in between the players and the fans? Is it getting to that point?
I don't ever want it to get to that point, and we shouldn't have to have it. But I will say sometimes it's overblown. Like in Philadelphia recently, there's been people saying that, for example, when Ben Simmons was here the last Nets game, people were saying, "Oh, you suck, Ben, you're trash, whatever." People said that countless times, and not even like, a warning. Some of them, the usher, if they heard them right away, they'd be like, "Get out of here, you're out."
Really?
So I don't know. Maybe they're cracking down. But in Philly, man, like we're gonna push back on. If that's true, we're gonna push back on
with
that.
Ben Simmons, I mean, you gotta be vocal in that situation.
I don't know. I
I'd be one of those fans myself. I think I'd probably be getting kicked out of the games. But
yeah, but you can't be.
You can't be racially tinged at all. It's
also like you paid for the seats, but like that doesn't mean you get to treat these people as less than human. Like it's not just like it's you don't get to just, oh, look at you. I paid how much for these. It's not their fault that the seats are that much.
Because Kyrie deserved it. It's Russell Westbrook, my bad. He goes, Mangle says, I call all colors of people, boy, I don't see the racism in it.
No way he said that. I don't know. And he says it like 4 times. And also, he immediately seems like he's guilty when he's like, I'm just like the whole game. I'm just watching the game. Like, like get out of here.
Chris says no one cares about the NBA. It's a democratic thing now. I don't know. I don't agree with that.
I still like the Sixers, unfortunately, and they traded Pat Beverly, which is the heart and soul of this damn locker room. For once, we had an identity.
Oh man, what did that trigger here?
We had Marcus Morris, also North Philly native, on this team. Toughness, I get it. Okay, we probably needed some more finesse. We probably needed a bit more scoring. We wanted something at the trade deadline. Joel Embiid miraculously scores 70 points. Amazing. Finally looks like the MVP guy again. All of a sudden, boom, meniscus injury, whatever. He'll be back by March, maybe. He'll be back before playoffs. So we shouldn't abandon ship this year. You can admit, even if you're
this isn't abandoning ship, though. It's not us abandoning ship.
I'm not saying that Pat Bev is like this championship player, but yeah. I feel like when your locker room is this locked in and the chemistry with the bench is there, the way that we've seen, we haven't really seen that much since like the process era of the Sixers, of like a contributing and a bench that really is part of the team. And I understand those process teams never won, but I think that's like we haven't had that identity. And now that Pat Bev is gone, it's just
we need that.
I think that identity is gone. Like with that, Pat Bev was someone who, especially when Embiid's out, he was telling Maxey, like, I'm not going to sit here and just pipe you up. Like, you have to be the best player on this team. Yeah. And we need guys like that in the locker room.
Marcus Morris, no.
Yeah.
Marcus Morris wasn't anything special on the court, but what he brought, behind the scenes. And so you have now healed on the Sixers because we traded Furkan, Marcus Morris, 3 second-round picks, and then you have Pat Bev in a separate trade who was traded for campaign in a second. But I've read that this might be to clear some room in the salary for Kyle Lowry, a Philadelphia native, to come in. But what, like 38 years old, 59 years old, Kyle Lowry at this point?
I think Pat Bev's better than him. Yes, I don't... Kyle Lowry, dude. How many years have we talked about Kyle Lowry? It's over. Why? I literally, oh my God, man. The emotional distress this team has put me through ever since this process started.
You seem very,
dude,
very animated about this. I appreciate
it. Because they pull me back in every damn time, and I fall for it. And this is where we're at.
I was out. They pull me back in. Wyman says, hey, Wyman, nice to see you. The greater Dan in the chat here. You don't think you could beat the C's 4 times, do you? No, don't. Like with the current roster build, there's no way.
And the thing is, if MB comes back, like you need time to get back into that rhythm. He's not going to have that much time.
NBA is relevant for most people. Thanks, Chris. I don't agree with that.
I wish I could be that way. I'm not.
He also wrote in thoughts on Gina Carano and Elon going at Disney. We talked about at the top of the show, actually. What's her name from The Bear is now being considered to replace Johnny Depp for Pirates of the Caribbean. And there's been a lot of pushback saying, how do you replace Johnny Depp with, a black female? And it's the whole cycle again.
Why are they saying the most iconic character from the jump, too? Like,
yeah, it's a good point. And like, I kind of felt it like with Ariel when they did Ariel, and I'm like, I don't know. Do you, if you have characters, they're fictional characters though. But the thing is, the character that the girl from The Bear is going to be based on is a real character who has an Irish ancestry. So, or not a real character, a real person has Irish ancestry. So it's all stupid though. Like, why? What I said at the top was, why can't we just have another franchise with female pirates that isn't necessarily
because we can't make any original stories.
To Johnny Depp's.
Nobody knows how to write anymore. Apparently, nobody knows how to come up with an original. All this reboot, everything. It's ridiculous. It drives me nuts. Now I sound like an old man. But seriously, can we get some fresh ideas out there? Like, you could do a female pirate story with Disney and make it good if you do it the right way.
Sydney and the Bear. That's who it is. Ayo Edebiri is the name.
She's great too.
Are we screwing up with the technology again, or is that just a
we
joke?
seem loud and clear on my end, I think.
CVD has erased people's brains. I don't know what that is. I don't know if I want to delve into that. Do you know what that is? Is it some kind of conspiracy thing? Any good conspiracies that you know of this week?
No conspiracies.
No? Yeah.
Well, the Los Angeles Tower buildings. Do you want to get into
that?
There's a little bit of
what the hell's going on there?
So, Skid Row in Los Angeles, everyone talks about the homeless issue there. I mean, it's all over the country, but specifically LA, it's probably the worst. So this is always controversial when they build high rises and try to gentrify neighborhoods. This is right near the iconic Crypto Arena, which used to be Staples Center, which is the house that Kobe built, as this video loads. But Los Angeles, there's a high rise there. We'll see it in a second. And every single floor of the high rise was graffitied on the corner units with a giant group of artists that all like coordinated to do this like all at once.
In a fence.
Yeah,
Apparently,
here we go.
little concern they were trespassing. We spoke with one with paint on her pants who told us she was not causing vandalism but creating art.
Get the hell out
And
of here.
Tonight, News Chopper 4 caught them at work on their canvas. A 53-story skyscraper. From the ground, this witness calls it a crime of opportunity.
To let it just sit there for years, I don't think that's right.
Unfinished since 2019, Oceanwide Plaza was reportedly billed as a downtown Renaissance jewel, complete with condos, a 5-star hotel, a mall, and the largest LED sign on the West Coast. But the billion-dollar baby has been abandoned for 5 years, and now a soaring symbol of urban blight.
Between yesterday and today, there's probably like another 20 floors that have been done.
They're still going?
So they're going at a pretty fast rate.
Jerron Burgundy lives next door, sharing video with NBC4 of the LAPD making their presence known. And on social media, the LAPD has posted, today, Central Division personnel met with the property management and CD14 representatives to collaborate on better securing the property and adding additional security measures. The measures will be implemented immediately, and the graffiti will be removed.
So they don't include it there, but it's right in the shadow of the building is the Crypto.com arena, former Staples Center, right?
The house that Kobe built.
Yeah, and it's this giant, it looks apocalyptic. It's like a huge building, but you say there's a conspiracy around it concerning China, right?
So, which we need to look into this. Otherside investigates. We should make that a segment. But either way, we need to look into this seriously. So this development company which listen to that building. I mean, largest LED sign on the West Coast, a mall, a 5-star hotel, like absolutely insane, exact opposite of what the homeless people are dealing with, or the unhoused, sorry. But regardless, people are saying all over Reddit, different websites, that the developers probably were invested into by China, and that China is similar to their ghost cities investing in these towers for giant cities like ours and then abandoning the project for us to deal with it, especially in a really the housing crisis is real, and we talk about that a lot. In LA, it is very, very, very real. And this is, I mean, for all those to be empty and to be sitting there like that I mean, like the guy said, as much as I don't agree with the guys vandalizing it, it's a slap in the face. If you live in that city and you need to find some sort of, it is a giant slap in the face for all that and look at, some stupid government contract and they were bribed to let them do it. And now look what they're left with. So it
was towering over the Grammys, as you see here from a Korea Times headline. This went national or international, and it's a blight, definitely, on a city that's very similar to Philadelphia with policies and such and taxation. And if it is China, man, that's very interesting that they would come in and do some kind of, it's almost like a subversive tactic to create unhappiness for Americans with blight, just city blight. But it's realistic. I mean, they have the money. They can build this crap fast and then just leave it to rot and abandon. Maybe it's another way. Wyman, what he said is that COVID-19 has erased people's brains. You agree with that?
A little bit, but I also
kind of do myself. Yeah.
I also think some people have really woken up though too. Like I think people realize how important politics are again, which for better or for worse, some of them are manipulated, but I think it's good in the long run. It's not always about agreeing with people. I think it's finding a way to talk to them and get them engaged. So.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm talking something about our brains being melted. How about a new way to meditate and keep that melt going?
I'm so down for this.
Yeah, you too?
Yeah.
I think I might have to get on this.
All right, we're all snapping our fingers, but that could actually be the future voice.
All right, we're all snapping our fingers.
Wow. Rapper and music producer Lil Jon, who soared to fame in the early 2000s with hits like Get Low, Snap Your Fingers.
Classic.
Let's all say this together. Turn down for what?
Well, that was just Marshall Jones.
It's okay. We'll carry it. He's turning a new
We're saving
page.
it for the club, Albert and I.
So I guess he's planning to record a guided meditation album.
Oh.
And there's no word just yet on when it's going to hit the market, but there's speculation as well that he could be on the stage with Usher for the Super Bowl.
Oh, now that would be a great.
The man who brought us Turn Down for What is literally going to help you turn down in your mind.
Oh my God! How many corny news? How many corny news cliches can they fit into one segment?
Yeah, that was almost for us to make fun of the news. But no, that is crazy if it's true. But I mean, come on, man. Lil Jon's so iconic, like for our childhood, like everything. I remember.
Would you actually listen to this to calm down? A guided album,
like Lil Jon's soundboard on the like first iPods and stuff. Yeah, I remember. Like people used to always just like the T-Pain mic. Remember that too? That they saw. That was crazy. Just the auto tune. That was before everyone did a podcast and had a microphone at their house.
You ever watch Carl Stefanovic? Those announcers kind of remind me of him, the Australian newscaster.
The crime wave sweeping our suburbs. The surprising ways families are fighting back.
And I love you. Okay.
Settle down. Far out. And I love you. It's very simple and inspiring.
This guy's just.
Say it.
This is happening live on Australian news. This guy's my favorite newscaster out there right now. Okay, maybe not that.
Oh my God. This is like a Ron Burgundy.
Have you seen this guy before?
I think I've seen clips.
This is like just one of many just times that he goes off script.
Kids do most of nothing.
That's true.
And I do the lawn mowing, clean the gutters, chase the snakes away from the backyard, and suffer the most.
Yeah.
John Watson.
Yeah.
What
poor
happened?
Johnny. Yeah, poor Johnny.
Give him a hug.
The kids don't do anything though, do they? They just suck up off us. Gee, that was.
Whoa.
You know what I was trying to say. Suck up to us? No, that's not it. Yeah, let's get it with it.
What about the opposition leader,
Are you kidding me?
Tony Abbott?
The angry cat. we need to interview the angry cat. I think that's what.
I think the angry cat's dead.
Oh, really?
Might be able to interview Carl though.
Yeah.
Look at that cat. Look at that cat.
Oh my god.
It's like Jabba the Hutt.
Just on a scale
All
of
right,
one,
that's
on
enough.
a scale of 1 to 10,
Oh,
how
wait, this
annoying
is
is
good.
the
This
stoner
last
to the
one.
left of you?
All right, that's enough about Carl. But go check out Carl compilation. Apparently, Wyman's a fan of him. He says these are older ones. He's gotten older and fatter since. So Anthony, what are you watching? Anything good? Anything good on TV that you suggest?
I have recently watched the Pete Davidson special.
Okay.
On I think that's Netflix.
I have no desire to watch any of his comedy, but go ahead. Tell me why. Why I should.
I was actually feeling the same exact way, and I heard a few people tell me like he really like bounced back here. And I honestly, one of the funniest ones I've seen in a while, at least from like a. It just really caught me off guard. Like he made some crazy jokes that I never. I mean, he's the guy that's known for making fun of his dad passing away in 9/11, but he had some jokes like almost on that exact level. So it was definitely a bit darker and really
How does he
a lot
get away
funnier
with it?
than
And someone like Shane Gillis doesn't though.
And that's a great point. I mean, I won't spoil it, but he makes jokes about dead children in this special.
Yeah.
And you're right. Yeah. Why doesn't he? Just because he was the darling that dated, a Kardashian. Like, why does he avoid those headlines?
Did I suggest it on here, or was that just on the Dom show, Chris? The B-17 guys on Apple.
I know you told me about it.
Masters
I
of the Air on Apple TV. It's done by Spielberg and Tom Hanks and the entire crew behind Band of Brothers. And what it is, it's a battalion of bombers in World War II that are over Germany. And it's fascinating when you see these guys, what they had to go through, put themselves through, flying in the skies. And every mission they go on is a death mission. And go check it out. It's really well done if you haven't seen it yet. I think it's now 4 episodes in. But Chris, I'm happy you checked it out. Another thing that I watched, I don't know if you watched it, was The Greatest Night in Pop on Netflix.
Oh, I didn't watch that yet. I saw that. Maybe I'll put that on my list.
Really good. We Are the World production behind that. And as a producer, it's like fascinating how they were able to get all these stars, just the biggest stars of all time. Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, Bruce Springsteen. Gosh, sorry. But no, like he was actually very likable in this. And it was after the AMAs and they pulled an all-nighter filming the video, doing the song We Are the World. And it's just fascinating to see the relationships that developed in that one night. So Greatest Night in Pop on Netflix. You check out Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime yet?
I haven't, but I need to watch that because I love Childish Gambino in general. Like his music, everything, most of what he's done Atlanta, I think I've suggested to you before. So I really need to check that out. But I'm just worried that it'll be too much. Like I said before, I'm never that excited about a movie or a series now when it's just totally and completely rebooting something. Like it just sucks. I wish there was less rebooting. We have so many good creators now. Let's just make more original things. Like, so I will watch it, but that's why I haven't watched it yet. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but seriously, it's like every big new thing I feel like is a total remake.
And it's weird because this Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's not like really anything like, it's the whole premise of, organizations you can sign up for and be paired with sleeper agents and doing essentially it's like Mission Impossible. You get a letter that you have to accomplish some kind of mission, and then you do it without asking any questions and don't really know. And in the first one, they have to drop off a cake at somebody's house and they think they're just dropping off someone's cake. And as they walk out of the house, the entire house explodes. The cake was a bomb. Sorry, spoiler alert. But it's what they're doing is they're taking a story, essentially a premise of, agents have to do missions and just calling it the same name, where instead in the past, I feel like they'd kind of take inspiration from other shows, and instead of calling it the same franchise, they'd, have a new name for it, new storyline behind it. And I don't know, originality is very disappointing.
Yeah. And that's even, I think, at Childish Gambino, he's one of the most creative, like actors, artists, like in that kind of realm. So I don't know. It's surprising, but I do think it looks well done, so I'm gonna watch it. Something I have been watching, unfortunately, with Mary has been The Bachelor with my guy Joey Griseldi, who is a Westchester alum. So I guess I'm rooting for him a little bit, but you know, the guy always wins in this one where it's like 40 girls and just one guy. It's like, yeah.
Would you, if you had the opportunity? So let's say you weren't with Mayor and you had the opportunity to do The Bachelor. Would you be down for it?
I'd probably do it, dude. They pay you. I'd tell Greg I get 3 months off just to go on dates with women and film a show. Like, absolutely. The press around it would be a lot. Like, oh my god, being on like every woman's timeline and like the one of the centers of female news day in and day out, like
true
for all age demographics.
But then you got the pressure that you got to marry one of them if you don't like any of them. You know, complete moron though, huh? This guy.
Yeah, he went to my college. Yeah.
You with Betches. I do know who this person is.
Oh.
Is it Ruth? No. Is Ginsburg something like that? Am I wrong? I know that she had something happen where she went to jail because of her mom.
Gypsy Rose.
Ruth Ginsburg. I don't know what I'm saying.
What animal would be
So wait, he just thought Gypsy Rose was Ruth Bader Ginsburg? And you willingly watched the show with your wife or girlfriend?
He willingly, well, I don't willingly watch it, but Gypsy Rose Blanchard is, if you're not familiar with her, a woman who is literally like abused by her mother, who eventually like colluded with some guy who then killed her mother. But he confused. I think he's the first person in the history of the world that confused Gypsy Rose for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, of all people.
I guess it's the three names, right? Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
That's true. I think the 3-name thing will trip people. That's a really good point. For people who talk a lot and mess up like us, yes, that's actually not a bad point.
Mangle says B-17s were often met with a storm of 109s. Yeah, watch the show. They definitely cover that, Mangle. It's good stuff. Wyman says a lot of our 80s shows were reboots of Brit shows. Yeah, but I feel it's different when it like The Office. I don't really consider it in the same kind of category as like, I don't know, Pirates of the Caribbean 6.
Yeah,
like
it's different.
It's different. The UK Office versus the US Office.
Well, you could say that about like Married with Children or All in the Family to Modern Family. But they were all different. They all had similar messaging.
And it's called inspiration. Like inspiration is normal.
Yeah.
Reacher bounced on this the top show in Prime because of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. But my buddies and I, we had a very passionate discussion in our group text today because someone threw out the idea of being floated as Alan Richardson, who plays Reacher, as the Batman in the upcoming James Gunn DC universe. Have you watched Reacher at all?
I did it because you told me not to. So
okay. I apologize for doing that.
I mean, honestly, I wasn't that like. I really haven't been that. If anything, I've been catching up on The Boys and The Sopranos, like in my spare time.
Gotcha.
Other than that, yeah.
So Reacher, the only reason it's popular, and I've said this before, is because Alan Richardson is a remarkably attractive individual. He's a former model, and women are loving this action show, but it's not a particularly good action show. I would say the writing's on par with like a Hallmark movie, and the acting is like B-movie level. I actually had to look up whether or not there was something wrong with the character of Jack Reacher because Alan Richardson was such a bad actor. Like he wasn't making eye contact with his co-actors in the scene. He was looking past them, talking past them. He was emphasizing words in the wrong places in his lines, like just rookie mistakes. And to think that this guy would be considered to be the next Batman is fascinating to me, that anyone would even talk about that.
I think you gotta just rely on Pattinson for this next Batman. I think is gonna be crazy. The first one was a little, I think, slow for some people. This next one I think will be really action packed, the same way Dark Knight was. They always have to set it up and have a dark story. The second one's probably gonna be more action packed.
He did what was the series they just gotten?
Oh yeah, the Penguin series on HBO. That's also coming out. With that's tied directly to the Pattinson Batman universe.
Yeah. Okay. Disturbed show postponed after singer comes down with the sickness. One of the greatest headlines I've seen in a long time.
Down with the sickness.
What's it say? Go through Gem Z after the boys, not so bad. Oh, that's the spinoff.
Yes,
check that out yet?
I saw the ads for that. I didn't watch it yet just because I haven't finished The Boys. So I will get to that as soon as I'm done The Boys.
Manelli says Guns DC is going to flop so very bad.
People love Derek Gunn. I was gonna
James,
yeah, people love James Gunn. I don't know. I'd be shocked if he does terribly because people. It seems like even if he doesn't put out his best work, people are obsessed with him.
I didn't want to say this before, but Sean Gunn is his brother, right?
That's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
I feel like Chris is gonna know that. There's no. Oh yeah, he is. He's the brother. Do you know who Sean Gunn is? He's like the character actor that you see in everything. This dude. Hold on. This guy on the right.
Yeah, he is in literally everything. That's true.
Yeah. Cass is okay. That makes sense as to why he's in everything that his brother makes. Okay. Sid, yeah, we're live. You're live. No, we have more than one. We're on 3 different sources right now, so we have 8. 8. Thank you very much. Got a lot of people tuned in.
Real nice,
right now.
Sid. Thanks.
Yeah. Disney drops 1.3 million subscribers amid price hike. No, I think it's because they continue down the woke path. Would you agree with there, or do you think it's because
I think prices play a big.
Their content
role in
sucks.
That. Well, I think also their content, it's so focused around Marvel and Star Wars. So if you watch it and you don't want to like really rewatch that stuff, they don't really incentivize you to kind of keep the service. Like Hulu and Netflix or even HBO, others, like there's so much variety. And I know they're trying with like National Geographic and even Gordon Ramsay, because we've also been watching Hell's Kitchen. Gordon Ramsay has those series with National Geographic where he goes around, looks at the world, like we'll make food and nature. So they're trying, but I just feel like generally like the other services, there's so much more variety. Like even in Peacock, there's so much more variety. So it's just, I think that's what they struggle with. And that, I think they just need to diversify their content. And that's when people will be more.
Everything just seems very franchise focused.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one that did I Quiz Show or Quiz Lady? Did you watch Quiz Lady? It's Disney Plus. Sandra Oh, it's fantastic. Aquafina. It's a great comedy.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But I believe it's Disney Plus, and it's like I was shocked to see it on there because it's not within a franchise. It's not Star Wars. It's not Disney princesses, and I think that's kind of what's killing the services. They're not really breaking out as much. Final thing is, Chris says, "Can we shit more on Disney?" No, we just spent the past 5 minutes shitting on Disney. Do we need to do Okay, Sid, I actually want to check this out because I really like Jason Statham. I didn't know he had a new movie called The Beekeeper. So I will check that one out. And finally, Anthony, if you had to eat something. So after eating Chipotle for 500 days, this Ohio man says he's ready for something new. Guy ate Chipotle 500 days straight. If you had to eat anything for 500 days straight, what would it be?
That's not a bad choice. Chipotle is not a bad choice.
That's what I was gonna say.
There's a lot of variety there. With that.
Yeah,
like you could change your meat, you could change your rice.
Is there though? Like, so what? You can rotate between a bowl, a burrito, quesadilla,
taco.
Yeah, but
salad.
Like I think I might go like Panera.
You love Panera. Dude, we need Panera. We need to get sales with on a Panera deal for Dan. Like
that comes up every time on the other side.
Panera. I mean, they have variety too.
That's what I'm saying is they have variety. They have muffins. You can get breakfast, coffee.
It's true. It's true. I like their orange scones. I'm not gonna lie. Big orange scone from Panera guy. I don't know if that's a thing, but
I'd also consider Taco Bell for 500 days.
Oh God, dude.
You can do it.
Your stomach. I even if I'd want to, it would not be pleasant. That would, Chris, come on, man. I don't know. Every morning waking up would be the dreadful part of my day if I'm eating Taco Bell 50 straight days.
Sid says stir fry. No, dude, I feel too salty. It's gonna get salt. Like your salt levels are gonna skyrocket after.
Yeah, that's true. There's always any type of Chinese
10 days.
Like that. Yeah. Oh God, that's such a hard question.
Homemade burgers, screw the fast food places.
I would.
Burgers are boring though. I guess you can diversify the burger a bit, right? Like throw some blue cheese on there. Get
I could eat
Buffalo
chicken
Blue
for
burger.
50 days in general and just do it 100 different ways.
Just plain chicken? Oh, okay.
Well, not plain. Yeah, just change it up every day. Like just eat it differently, make it differently, have it with noodles one day, rice one day, have it on a sandwich one day.
I love that Mango's watching us with his wife. I feel like we should have like an upside down pineapple in here or something.
Yeah, right.
But Chinese because of the choices. Again though, the salt,
the sodium. You
and
sound
the
like an old man.
MSG. No, but I'm serious, man. My feet are gonna be huge. But yeah, I guess you get like the shrimp and lobster sauce one day, get some soup the next.
That's why you need a lot of produce, dude, and need to eat at home because like anytime you eat out, the sodium is crazy.
What has the most like diversified out of all these like cultures, culinary cultures? What do you think is the most like if we're asking this question, 500 days, you have to choose one culinary cuisine. Where are you going? I guess you go Italian because DiRenzo,
Yeah,
right?
I think Italian is like there's
no difference in Italian though. Everything uses tomato or garlic.
Not everything. There's Northern Italian, there's Southern Italian, there's cream sauce, there's pesto sauce, there's there's a lot of
everything you named has garlic in it.
Yeah, well, that's true. I love garlic.
Like it all has the same flavor profile, I feel.
But even when you go around other like types of foods, like when you go to Thai, which I love Thai food too, or even Indian, it's very similar.
No, Indians. I feel like India might be the answer here. Why even actually put that up there?
I love Indian food. Like it's amazing.
I've recently got real into it.
I mean, my old roommate, his mom would bring like trays of their family's food. Oh my god, dude, it's crazy good, so good.
Now that I think about it, though, I think Chinese might be the answer here.
Just low sodium chicken and broccoli.
Because like think of like within Chinese too. Yeah, it's the sodium though. But like you can use like they can get barbecue ribs, right? Or you can get chicken wings. They like the chicken wings at Sang Ki down in Chinatown that are really good.
Oh, dude, yeah, Sang Ki's good. And also shout out to Han Dynasty where I used to work. I love that place.
You used to work at Han Dynasty?
Yeah, for a bit. I worked there. When I was first getting into radio, I worked at Han Dynasty as well. Fun fact.
Was that fun?
No, it was fun. It was actually.
Did you have to
really
like
fun.
learn 300 menu items?
I learned the menu, dude. It was crazy because you'd put the ticket in English and it comes out like in Mandarin Chinese, just straight up. It comes out Mandarin Chinese.
So how would you remember like
dude,
what
the
went
chefs
where?
were just straight from like China. Like then this is you think like it's not American Chinese there. That is Szechuan Chinese.
Yeah, it's like straight up like
yes, it is. And oh
like,
my god, dude,
like goat tongue, like.
They would make shift meal, and sometimes I had no idea what was in the shift meal, and it's also the hottest.
Wait, they wouldn't tell you what was in shift meal? You would just have to eat it?
You just get to eat it, yeah.
And you just did it?
Well, if there was vegetarian, like they'll make a vegetarian dish. But yeah, no, I would just eat it. Yes, I ate the shift meal no matter what. I didn't care.
Do you remember what the most?
Those chefs. I trust those chefs with my life.
Do you remember what the most interesting thing you ate was while you were at Han?
Most interesting thing.
So I went to a Thai place recently in Chinatown, and I ordered just for the hell of it the pho, but I got like the pho special, so it came with like the intestines, the tongue, like it had all. Were you there with me? Was that who was I with? Maybe it was Yigs.
I don't think so.
But it was very disturbing, I gotta say. The first time ever having intestine, it was like hairy. It almost had like a consistency to it. It's gross, man.
I haven't gone that crazy with pho. I just always get like pork belly with pho. That's like, I love that.
So craziest thing at Han, do you remember?
I don't know. I was trying to think off the top of my head. I don't know. Like you said, I feel like some sort of like tongue, like beef tongue. I think they made like beef tongue soup, stuff like that. I know they had other crazy stuff.
Had
like
ostrich, gator.
Some sort of squid, but I don't think squid's that weird. Like we have calamari a lot, so.
You're Italian. It's an appetizer. Come on.
Yeah.
Fried calamari is. Are you a circles or a tentacles guy?
I think I like the circles, but that's only if they're like the big ones. I'll take the tentacles if it's. Like
Maisie won't eat the tentacles. I don't get it. Like the tentacles are where all the flavor is. You have like the. No, it doesn't. You got like the breadcrumbs and the flavoring in each like little tentacle crevice, and
that's true. It's because there's just more meat. Like the circle, it's just not enough. Like you're saying, or it'll just breading. Just tastes like breading.
I'm sorry, we grossed your wife out, man.
Yeah.
We're really
with
off.
With a good chef, I'll eat anything if you prepare it the right way.
You know what I'm not a fan of, and it says right here, pad thai. There's like some kind of weird sour bitterness to it that I just can't get
Did
behind.
I put cilantro in it? Maybe that's why.
I love cilantro, dude. I'm a huge cilantro. Maisie hates it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'll pile that. Like I'll have tacos, and instead of lettuce, I'll just have like a pound of cilantro on top.
Yeah, I've seen you do that actually.
Yeah, it's delicious. Rosie's Taco Bar, shout out. Fantastic place.
That's true.
All right, we should probably get out of here. This is a lot of fun just talking food though. Thoughts on
I
Hell's
love to
Kitchen?
just
Did you
talk food.
finish Hell's Kitchen?
Not yet. We're
Okay, I won't
think we have
spoil
like
it then.
3 or 4 episodes left. We'll do a whole debrief next episode.
I do suggest once you finish Hell's Kitchen, Next Level Chef. It's a lot of fun. Ooh, new episode
Yeah, I
on
keep seeing
tonight,
the
actually.
ads for that. So
Yeah, Next Level Chef's really, really fun. And 3rd episode tonight. What good restaurants do you go to, Anthony?
what
Olive
was
Garden.
the best restaurant? Yeah, right.
Pizza, Sid, Northeast, Philly, Port Richmond, Tacanelli's. Big fan of. Circles and Squares, also good.
Oh my God, Circles and Squares is great. I'll test that. If you want a good,
I thought
stir
I
pizza,
for the longest time I was like, it's overrated. It's gonna suck because they're always sold out.
good.
But then I finally had it. It's really good.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
He wants slow food. Dude, Sankey. If you want a Chinese experience, I really suggest Sankey. I legit stop on my way home for a bowl of roast pork wonton noodle soup from time
There's
to
this
time.
great place in Fishtown too called Kalaya. If you like Thai, like that's real Thai, like very spicy, insanely spicy, and good stuff. So
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I would suggest.
Erawan is good too, and that's actually near work. If you're ever
Yeah,
like
it's
Thai
right near
food
work.
Yeah,
Is it good? I've never had it.
yeah, it is good. They actually have new owners, and they're I believe it's a Thai family, so it's great stuff.
I mean, I can do the obvious, like it's fast food. John's roast pork, fantastic.
I went to the Victor Cafe for the first time in a long time last week, and that place is great. Every single waiter and waitress can sing opera at like an elite level, and they just sing to you while you're
Really?
eating. Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds very unappealing
And
to me.
It's the restaurant that is in Rocky, and there's a lot of cool stuff like the upstairs. There's a bunch of memorabilia, and there's a lot of pictures on the wall. And dude, I'm not a huge fan of opera. It was really cool. They're great at singing, and like it's just an experience. Like it's so South Philly. It is so South. But it was a good time. It was definitely like I felt like I was in the Rocky movie.
What do you mean we need more dim sum in Philly? Go to Dim Sum Garden.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Or Tom's.
Or
Tom's really good.
Jane's, there's Jane's. Whatever.
Jane's is
Dim
good.
Sum.
Tom's
Yeah,
Dim Sum
yeah.
I like a lot.
Yeah.
Sid, if you get into Chinatown, like for some reason I've noticed, I don't know what it is, but parking seems pretty easy recently. I've been going down there a lot.
There's a place called Ba Wei, which is also pretty good, and they have a lot of stuff. Like they'll have Thai, but they'll also have Szechuan Chinese, and they'll have dim sum. So like there's some places like that too.
Steven Star places. I've been
Yeah,
very much
anything.
enjoying.
Yeah.
You know.
Park is there was a fire there last week.
So Park has like I think the best French onion soup in the city.
It's so good, yeah.
So I look around for French onion soup. There's this place in Mayfair that I don't know if they're still open, but someone might be able to help me out here. But they're like known for their French onion soup. That I made a trip out specifically for their French onion soup. Like delicious, comparable to Steven Star Park's
big
$18 French
soup
onion
guy.
soup.
Big
Dude,
French
I
onion
legit I'll when we were in Aruba. Every day I had a bowl of French onion soup because I wanted to compare. I wanted to find the best. I wanted to find the best French onion soup in Aruba. Yeah, no, and they had it everywhere. I don't know why. It was like something big in Aruba. Dining car is what I'm talking about.
Oh,
you ever go to the dining car?
Yeah. I know the dining car. My dad knows it well. Yeah, I've been there before.
Dining car's French onion soup is on point. It's
Look
really
at that. They
good.
give you the answer like immediately.
No, I looked it up. I found it.
Oh, okay.
I just thought of it. Have a good night. See you in the AM. Yeah, Wyman, we'll see you guys back with Kale and company. Hey, have you guys having like the same kind of freezing issues that we're having with Giordano, or is this just like a me thing?
We've been okay, but yeah, you have a different setup, so we're working out the kinks. We'll get there.
We'll have it. What
It's-
by next?
yeah.
We have a meeting coming up, and
Yeah, we have a meeting. There's always meetings. We get this stuff out. We figure it out. All right, we'll get
let's
there.
just say that these gremlins that keep happening, they are not something that we're accepting happily, and we are
Yeah.
trying our hardest to figure this crap out so we stop with this freezing crap. We don't like that. We don't want that out there.
Yeah, pray to the
that's-
YouTube gods. We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
that's very descriptive, Chris. I appreciate it. That sandwich up in Chestnut Hill. Yeah, it's very Philly of you to just say, "Hey, yeah, I love that sandwich up in
That
Chestnut
one
Hill."
John in Chestnut Hill is a real good place.
And finally, we'll put this out there. Mangle says Pocono Pub up here has some awesome burgers. So does Dot's Pub. Don't know where you are, but ooh, and a good French onion soup.
Wagon Wheel. I've been.
You know Wagon Wheel?
Yeah, yeah.
We might have to make a trip up there if they have good French onion soup.
They give you scissors to cut the cheese. Look at that.
I don't know if I need that though. I feel like that's kind of corny.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little overboard. All right, everyone Jesus, what my British saying H's. Everyone have a good night. We will see you tomorrow, 12 to WPHT. We'll be live. We'll be live on camera from Kale all the way through Giordano, and we'll be here having fun. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Trying to read if there's anything else here. Okay, everyone have a great one. Anthony, any final words before we get out of here?
Thanks for watching, and share the pod. Be a friend, tell a friend, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you.
And like and subscribe. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.